Hi, everybody, we're Betty. No,
Very nice, but not exactly what we were looking for.
That's not what we want. Here's what happens. When we say, hi, we're Betty, that's your cue to scream back at us as a congregation, hello, Betty.
With a lot of enthusiasm.
And a lot of love.
Okay, you ready? Here's your cue. We believe in you. Hi, we're Betty. Perfect.
What the world needs now, 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 what the world needs now. It's the only thing that lives just to live. What the world needs now is love. What the world needs now, no, not just but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now, is love. What the world needs now, it's the only thing that lives just to live. What the world needs now, what the world needs now, no, not just but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine, enough to last, you know. What the world needs is love.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, everyone. My name's Liz Alpern. Good to see you all. I'm a longtime fangirl of Cachette, and I'm also the founder of Gefilteria and Queer Soup Night. We could talk about those things later. Now, I have spent my career toggling between being a professional Jew and between being a professional gay. So it's always really a unique thrill to be in a room where those identities can come together so seamlessly. For example, when I was writing my cookbook many years ago, I knew that pickles were queer, right? I knew that. But it's so nice to be in a room of people who just know that too. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. Now, we are here tonight for the second stop in the farewell tour of somebody who has truly made the extraordinary ordinary. Let's give it up for Edith Klein. So I don't have to tell you all, we are in a uniquely and deeply challenging time. For me, there is nothing that gives me the fuel that I need to fight for democracy and to fight for the lives of our queer youth than being in a room full of good-looking queer people. So, everybody look around for a minute. Just look around. Look at who are your allies. Look who's on your team. Maybe wink. Just wink at somebody if you think they're cute, if you like them. And get ready for an amazing program tonight. With that, I would like to welcome Rabbi Jason Klein, senior rabbi here at CBSD, who's going to officially open this evening with some spirit and some heart. So, Rabbi, where are you? Come on up.
Thank you for setting the bar so high already. Jason Klein, he or they pronouns. How wonderful and how humbling to welcome you to CVST. It is so amazing and awesome to be joined by generations of CVST clergy right here, and so many people who have been connected to this community and connected to Keshet, connected to Idit. It was so awesome a few weeks ago to catch up with you, and we realized it had probably been a decade at least since we had had an intense conversation, and I continue to be the fan I have always been since you started doing this work, and I'm so grateful that you have done the work that you've been doing and will continue to do, I know, amazing work in this world. At CVST, something I know I have inherited from my predecessors and also love, even independently, is this idea of thinking about liminality, those in-between moments that exist in the universe, and the particular sacredness that comes in those in-between times. Maybe the in-between time between finding out that you're leaving this role and what's happening next for everyone. We're in one of those now here, and I think on the national stage, we're of course in a very, very challenging, horrific, terrifying in-between time as well. In Pirkei Avot, in the Mishnah, one section of the text talks about those things that were created in the in-between time at twilight, Ben Hashmashot, what happened on that sixth day of creation, the unwritten things that happened just before the sun actually set. What was created that maybe the text doesn't tell us? And I'm not going to read you all 10 things, but I will tell you that one thing on that list, in case you were not aware, is Keshet. That's right, the rainbow. Perhaps the rainbow, in fact, I would say most commentators seem to think that this is the rainbow that happens after the flood story that restores the covenant between humanity and God. But it's interesting that when we say the Jewish blessing for a rainbow, the custom is not just to thank God Zocher HaBrit for remembering the covenant, but the blessing actually has three parts. We thank God Zocher HaBrit Ne'eman B'Vrito V'Kayam B'Ma'amaro. Thank you, God, for remembering the covenant, for being faithful in the covenant, and for upholding your word. Keshet, under Idit's leadership, I think has turned every opportunity for a blessing into a multiplicity of blessings. We don't simply remember the commitment, but we may remember what was and the possibility that any time we do something good for our children, for our Jewish organizations, for our partners, for the people who have yet to be partners in this work, we don't even know the ripple effects. One little blessing can easily multiply to 3, to 9, to, help me, 81, whatever, and on and on. So I think my hope and my blessing both for you, for us, for the people who aren't in the room, and for the people who really continue to need this work and benefit from this work, is that beautiful rainbow of blessings just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies, that we all can take the moments to appreciate one another in the diversity of our humanity. This happens right after we are created in God's image, this image of the rainbow snuck right in there. So even on those days when some of us may be questioning, may notice that others are questioning the full humanity of others, it is Keshet, it is the ancient rainbow, it is this rainbow, Idit, that you have created, that can multiply our blessings and bring lots of beautiful, beautiful color in the deep, even in the deepest darkness. So Mazel Tov tonight, and welcome everyone to CBST.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eliana Rubin. I use she, her pronouns, and I have the joy of serving as Keshet's New York Education and Training Manager. Keshet made me trans. Okay, not really, but hear me out. In the summer of 2018, I was working at a summer camp with the Union of Reformed Judaism. And during staff week, we had a training session with someone from Keshet. At that session, I processed terms like non-binary and pronouns in a different way for the first time. There was something about it that helped people feel truly respected. We were invited to put our names and pronouns on name tags, which is a small gesture that changed my life. The following day, at a different staff training, I put down my birth name and he, him pronouns, and I stuck that onto my chest, and suddenly something didn't fit right. And I took the name tag off and I looked at it, and underneath he, him, I wrote they, them, and I put that back on. That summer, I came out as non-binary, and then later I came out as a proud trans woman. And I have Keshet to thank for that, for giving me the language, the space, and the courage to use my voice and to live my truth. I officially joined the Keshet team in August of 2024, and in that short time, I have witnessed the incredible impact that Keshet has made and achieved right here in the great city that is New York. As part of our most recent NYC Shivyon, or Equality cohort, a Manhattan synagogue that displayed no outward signs of welcoming its LGBTQ+ congregants now offers pronoun stickers and education to their community. An early childhood center in Westchester called our Early Childhood Education 101 training, quote, the best teacher training we have ever had. And just a few weeks ago, a secular nonprofit in Brooklyn hosted a trans liberation seder in partnership with Keshet by and for trans people, creating a space of joy and resilience and courage. Across our big, beautiful, bustling city, Keshet is helping to make LGBTQ+ belonging a norm in Jewish life, not an exception. Here's a small glimpse of Keshet's impact. In 2024 alone, Keshet led 341 trainings, presentations, and consultations nationwide, with 77 of them right here in the New York City area. And behind me, you'll also see two bright stars, Keshet teens whose lives were transformed through our programs right here in New York. On top of that, in 2024, Keshet delivered 217 organizational trainings, reaching over 6,600 individuals across the country, including 6 full-scale Shivyon organizational culture changes right here in New York. And none of it happens by accident. It takes leadership. It takes heart. It takes someone bold enough to envision a future of belonging and steady enough to help build it. And that someone is Edith Klein. Working alongside Edith has been one of the greatest honors of my career. From our very first one-on-one, what stuck with me was how grounded she was. There was no flashiness, no need to impress, just deep-rooted conviction and care. And Edith's grounded leadership is what has allowed Keshet to soar. It's what keeps us steady in a world that too often tries to push us to the margins. It's what reminds us again and again that using our voices isn't just brave, it's vital. Where would I be if Keshet hadn't spoken up in 2018? I don't know. But what I do know is this: I am here. And I am proud to be part of an organization that lifts up every voice, every story, and every truth. as we celebrate Edith's extraordinary legacy tonight, let's commit to carrying that spirit forward. Let's keep using our voices. Let's keep building a world where every LGBTQ plus Jew and every LGBTQ plus person knows that they belong. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce someone else who has spoken up and who has been instrumental in Keshet's journey. Please welcome the Honorable Seth M. Marnin, Keshet's former board chair.
Good evening. It is a privilege to introduce Edith Klein to you tonight and say a few words about her and her tenure at Keshet. Now, many of you know that I cannot resist, when handed a mic, to teach a little Torah. Tonight, though, I'd like to share a different kind of Torah. Last evening, I was at my alma mater to receive the Cochrane Excellence in Diversity and Inclusion Award. The award was named in honor of Mr. Warren Cochrane, who was my university's second Black male graduate, and who went on to have a distinguished career devoted to overcoming prejudices and maximizing economic, social, and political opportunities for Black Americans and minorities everywhere. I did a bit of research about Mr. Cochrane's work and stumbled upon a 1952 letter he sent to Seymour Samet, the then new Southeast Area Director of the American Jewish Committee in Miami, and he had just recently arrived there from the North. Cochrane wrote to explain the challenges of combating racial injustice in the South. He said, "Sometimes it is often discouraging and almost overwhelming. Much of your forthright and courageous approach, which you have so successfully used in the North, must be modified to existing conditions if you are to accomplish any good at all. The great danger, however, is that if you begin making concessions to local situations, you might find it more difficult to maintain basic principles." The great danger indeed. I had the honor to serve on Keshet's board of directors for 6 years and to partner with Edith as board chair for nearly 4.5 of those years. When I reflect on Edith's leadership and her accomplishments at Keshet, I'm struck by 3 things: Edith's principles, her ability to adapt to existing conditions and pivot the organization to meet community needs, and perhaps one of her greatest strengths, to maintain optimism in the face of discouraging and seemingly overwhelming obstacles. Edith's tenure has been guided by her unwavering principles. It is no secret that she has worked tirelessly for the full equality of LGBTQ Jews and our families. Under her leadership and with the team she has built, Keshet has transformed both the Jewish communities and queer communities across the country. Edith has done this through a combination of skill, courage, tenacity, and frankly, sheer force of will. Keshet's outstanding work and the relationships that Edith has fostered over the past 2.5 decades have positioned Keshet to be a trusted leader in our communities and to mobilize the broader Jewish community to stand up for LGBTQ rights. Not only has Edith grown Keshet from a small local organization based out of her Boston apartment to a well-respected multi-million-dollar organization with offices in 6 states, under her leadership, Keshet has thrived in, let us say, less than ideal circumstances. Keshet has succeeded because Edith recognized that we needed to adapt, not only to survive, indeed to flourish. Edith is not afraid of change. Never have I heard her say, but that's how we've always done it. Through innovation, bold vision, and did I mention sheer force of will, Edith has been responsive to the assaults on the community without compromising on Keshet's or her principles. And Edith's optimism. It's not just any kind of optimism. It is the optimism of the grandchild of Holocaust survivors, the child of immigrants, the optimism of someone who does not become discouraged or overwhelmed by the challenges, but uses them to fuel her convictions. Idit has built an organization bigger than herself. She has fortified Keshet, tended it carefully, to not only withstand existing conditions, but to emerge from these trials stronger than ever before. And while I could spend the next several hours talking with you about Keshet's transformative work, community mobilization, creating space for LGBTQ plus Jews of color, education and training, the Shabbatonim, the other youth programming, I know we're here to celebrate Idit. But before we hear from Idit, I'd like to introduce you to Willow, a former Keshet Shabbaton participant and leader.
Really tough time to be like a queer person, to be a Jew in the United States. It's really scary. Like, there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of like political rhetoric spreading about trans people and queer people and like Judaism, and it's kind of terrifying, and it's so encouraging and relieving to know that like we're not the only ones fighting for ourselves, that we have people like fighting right beside us. I've really had the opportunity to like grow into myself through Shabbatonim, and it's really cool to be able to sort of pass that on, like be the like confident trans person, like the confident queer Jew that I saw in other people.
And now please join me in welcoming Keshet's president and CEO, Idit Klein.
Thank you so much, Seth, and thank you to all of you. It's really hard not to want to just schmooze all night. So I wanted to be preceded by this video because when I think back about what makes me most proud of my work at Keshet over the past 24 years, I think of young people like Willow. So over the years, people have often asked me, how did you become a professional queer Jew? It may surprise you to hear that my third grade Orthodox rabbi plays a key role in that answer. It's always interesting who laughs at that. Okay. So I had transferred from a public school in third grade to an Orthodox Jewish day school. I'd never seen a Chumash, a book of Torah, before, so on my first day of school, my teacher took me aside and he put a Chumash on the desk in front of me. And he pointed at the page, and he said, you need to understand, here is the main story. And then he pointed at the left-hand column, and he said, and over here is what someone has to say about that story. And then he pointed to the section below, and he said, and here is what someone else has to say about that story. And a lot of times I disagree with them. And you may disagree with them. And then he crouched down, which I won't entirely reenact so you can hear me, and then he crouched down so he could look me right in the eye, and he said, but I want you to remember, even when you disagree with me, I always want to know what you think. So there I was, an 8-year-old secular Israeli girl, and I was handed the keys to Jewish tradition. I had a place in our collective Jewish story. No question. Now, I'm not saying that my Orthodox Jewish day school education led me precisely to start building Keshet at age 28 in 2001, or keep leading it since then, but for sure, my experience there, the education I received, the community that I felt a part of, it played a vital role in how I grew as a Jew and my emerging sense of self as a leader. It's 24 years later, not since I was in third grade, since 2001. It's 24 years later, and so much has changed. So what I want to do together with you this evening is share a few stories about that arc of change and explain why I continue to feel hopeful even now when we have every reason to feel despairing and unmoored. When I first started building Keshet in the early 2000s, people regularly seemed bewildered, truly bewildered, when I told them what I did for work. They would look at me and say, huh, is that a Jewish organization? Or they would say, gay and lesbian Jews, are there really many of you? These days, and for quite a few years actually, the most common responses I get are, could you work with my synagogue? We really need your help. Or, my kid is gay, or my granddaughter is trans. How can I connect them with Keshet? Or, this is my favorite, my kid is so smart. Do you have a job for them? And indeed, we are connected with many LGBTQ Jewish youth. At Keshet Teen Shabbatonim, or Shabbat retreats, queer Jewish teens discover that they can exhale. They can find their place and their voice as emerging Jewish leaders. Now, many of these young people tell us that the Keshet Shabbaton is the only place, still in 2025, the only place where they can be fully themselves as queer Jews. Over and over at these retreats, kids from secular to Orthodox declare with a tone of wonder, it just feels amazing to be in a place where I can be fully myself. They also experience joy, real joy. Someone at some point, it's become part of Keshet Apocrypha, started calling it queer Jewish euphoria. I want to introduce you now to Doran, another Shabbaton alumni.
I started coming in 8th grade, and that was like my first step into anything, like out of my house, sleepaway, anything. And then I just kept coming back. I think this is my 5th one. It was definitely cool to be an 8th grader, but it was also kind of nerve-wracking because everyone was so much older than me, and everyone was like, you can be here as an 8th grader? And I was like, yeah, you can. What's really beautiful about the Shabbaton is that no matter how you feel about your identity, if you're unsure or if you're a little nervous about how people might think, the Shabbaton is great because everyone's so welcoming to you no matter what, and you feel like you can really be yourself. I don't think there's any other place I've been to that has made me feel more validated, more welcomed, and just more good inside.
Queer Jewish euphoria. We need all of it we can get, right? I'm so grateful that teens feel this kind of joy at Shabbatonim, especially now and especially over the past couple of years. In the aftermath of October 7th, we noticed how many queer Jewish youth were showing that they felt even more connected to their Jewish identities, more engaged in Jewish life than ever before. And at the same time, some young people talked about feeling excluded from queer spaces because of their Jewish identities and/or connection with Israel. And at the same time, we heard from other queer Jewish young people about being excluded from Jewish spaces because of their critical views of Israel. A queer teen from Iowa told us, I really enjoyed being able to exist as both Jewish and queer in peace at the Shabbaton. I feel like Jewish spaces are still unaccepting of queerness, and nowadays queer spaces can be unaccepting of Jewishness, so you never truly get a rest because you're on the lookout for homophobia or transphobia or anti-Semitism. But at the Keshet Shabbaton, I could finally rest. That sense of isolation and vulnerability has increased exponentially since the inauguration. We've heard from kids, I fear for my life. Even though I have support, I'm still scared. I feel kind of guilty because my being trans puts my family in danger. We are disposable to America. These words are hard to hear. And they aren't the only words teens have shared since the election. we're also hearing words that speak to the power of community and why Keshet's work matters now more than ever. A teen from Tennessee told us, living in the South without LGBTQ+ or Jewish communities readily available, Keshet gives me a place to belong and reminds me the two identities can exist together. It's meaningful to me that Keshet is providing spaces that feel safe, supportive, and powerful for youth. But it's also profoundly sad to me that in 2025, 24 years after I started building this organization, many queer Jewish kids continue to feel so alone in both their Jewish and queer communities. So we keep doing our work, and our work is an antidote to that isolation. From our earliest days at Keshet, we have met Jewish organizations where they are and pushed them, sometimes gently, sometimes a little less than gently, to grow and grow further than they ever imagined possible. We've always urged Jewish leaders to speak out for LGBTQ equality and to invest in a culture of belonging in their own Jewish institutions. And since January, we have been even more insistent about the importance of communicating an unequivocal message of support to their queer community members. We urge Jewish leaders to make it clear to their youth, to their congregants, to their community members, no matter what you may hear from the Oval Office, no matter what you may hear from your state house, know that here in your Jewish community, you are loved. Here in your Jewish community, we will do our best to keep you safe. Here in your Jewish community, we will celebrate you and we will call out Mazal Tov when you come out. Here in your Jewish community, we will never, ever stop fighting for you. Messages matter. Symbols matter. I think back to the 2016 election. Remember that one? 2 days later, I received an email from Erin Schreiber, a Hillel director at a college outside of St. Louis. Erin wrote to me that early that morning, she had received a text from a trans student who sounded like he was really in crisis. And so without thinking about it, she said, "I'll meet you at the Hillel office in 20 minutes. And it was only once she was in her car driving to the office and realized how completely overwhelmed she felt that she thought, oh my God, what did I just do? I'm not in a position to support anyone else. I have no idea what I'm going to say to this student. So she walked into the Hill building and opened her office door, not knowing what she was going to say or how she would find the words. And she nearly stepped on an envelope that was stuck under her door. She opened the envelope, and inside of which she found a package of Keshet LGBTQ safe zone stickers that she had ordered the previous week. And just as her student walked in, she held up the sticker and she said, "Look, there is a whole community that is standing with us. We aren't alone. There's hope in the world." Over the past 9 years, and particularly over the last, how many days has it been? Not that we're counting. I have thought often of that student, and I've imagined him looking back on that first terrible day and thinking to himself, on that morning when I felt like I had nowhere to turn, I turned to my Jewish community for support, and I found it. We all must continue to push for change in our own community so that every rabbi, every teacher, every camp counselor, every Hillel professional knows, like Erin, how to build a community where queer Jews know that they belong. Last May marked the 20th anniversary of marriage equality in the state of Massachusetts, where I live. 20 years of being able to marry the person you love no matter their gender. Now, when marriage equality became the law in Massachusetts in 2004, our opponents struck back immediately and tried very hard to rescind that newly won right. So Keshet, working directly with the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Boston, and I'm so thrilled that there are two former staff from that JCRC who are here with us tonight, Nancy Kaufman and Nami Nadich. Could not have done it without both of you as our partners. So together we led the statewide effort to mobilize Jewish communities to help preserve marriage equality for good. And initially, I could count on one hand, not even one hand, maybe 2 fingers, 3 fingers, the number of rabbis who were willing to publicly stand with us. Every time we got a rabbi who was willing to say, I support marriage equality, was a triumph and cause for a dance around the room in my house where I started to build Keshet. Many said, I'm just not there yet. Or I'm there, but my congregation isn't. Remember, this was 2004. I will never forget standing in front of the Massachusetts State House holding a large banner together with a few others that said the Massachusetts Jewish community supports marriage equality. And at least a couple of times an hour, someone would come rushing up to us and they would shout, "Who do you think you are to stand here with this sign? This isn't what Jews believe." And the thing is, they were right. Back then, support for marriage equality was not the norm in Jewish life, just as it wasn't in Massachusetts, just as it certainly wasn't nationwide. But over the course of the 3-year fight to save marriage equality, we touched hearts and changed minds. And slowly, support for marriage equality became the norm in our state. And although Jews are a distinct minority in Massachusetts, our organizing made a difference, just as it has more recently in our efforts to fight anti-LGBTQ bills in Florida and Texas, just as it must continue to do today and in the years ahead. At the 20th anniversary of marriage equality celebration in Boston, we heard from Mary Bonato, the lead attorney who won the case. And Mary said to us, "We took what was unimaginable and we turned it into a joyous reality," which of course is beautifully true. But I've been thinking to myself that what's even more extraordinary than that is that we took what was unimaginable and we turned it into an ordinary reality. How many of you have teens in your lives who can't imagine a world without marriage equality? All right, there's got to be more than one, but okay. Or a world without openly trans people in their lives, or a world without LGBTQ affirming rabbis. For them, these aren't only ordinary realities, it's unimaginable that life was ever any other way. I will be stepping down as CEO of Keshet on July 31st. And as I reflect on my life after that, when I will no longer be a professional queer Jew, I ask myself, what can I imagine making possible in the next 20 or 25 years that today feels unimaginable? What vision of justice today that feels beyond our collective imagination, yet in 20 years will simply be the ordinary reality of our world? What will it be? I'm so grateful to the many people who have made it possible for me to ask those questions and pursue those answers for the past 24 years. I want to thank my staff, past and present, and it's such a treat to see staff here tonight from Keshet Past. I want to thank, in particular, the staff who made tonight's celebration so special, our Chief Development Officer, John Grable Herman, and an extra special thank you to our Director of Major Gifts, Shauna Cohen, who conceived of and executed today's event. I also want to recognize and thank our current and past board members who are here and helped lead the way for Keshet: Alex Bernstein, Donna Rauscher, Lisa Capilouto, Ann Falchuk, Carson Gleiberman, and of course, the Honorable Seth Marnin, as well as our staff here this evening who make Keshet shine every day. Lainey Cohen, Sawyer Goldsmith, Lenny Goldstein, Becca Kleinman, Jamie Krass, and Eliana Rubin. Thank you all for your leadership, for helping Keshet navigate challenges, celebrate victories, and keep going from strength to strength. And thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. And Deanie is also here. Thank you, Deanie, for being here. All right. I also, of course, want to thank each of you for believing in this work and for believing in me, even in the most challenging times, especially in the most challenging times. You have made it all possible. Those of you who have known me for a long time may remember that about 10 to 15 years ago, I started saying that there would come a day that we would all be around for when Keshet would no longer need to exist. And despite your discouraging words, I kept saying it. I believed that the world would have changed so much that we would be writing Keshet's obsolescence plan. I was wrong. But I still believe we will get there. I know that we will get there. Each of you will help us get there. And I look forward in a different way to being right by your side. I know that together we will keep seizing the unimaginable and transforming it into an ordinary reality. And it will be glorious. And now it is my real pleasure and my real honor, and with much love, that I introduce my friend, my teacher, my hero, Rabbi Sharon Kleinbaum.
Harvey Milk famously said in a different time, long before Keshet existed, and without Edith's brilliant leadership, you have to hope. You have to have hope. You have to have hope, and you, as a leader, your job is to give them hope. Hope for a better world, hope for a better tomorrow. Edith, you embody Harvey Milk's hope. We are gathered here tonight at an auspicious time in the Jewish calendar. We are in the period of the Omer, where we are told that 24,000 students of the great rabbi died because of disrespect for each other. Imagine that. We consider this a period of terrible mourning in the Jewish tradition because there was disrespect among Torah learners and scholars. We hover between Yom HaShoah, between the moment in which we as a Jewish people focus on the tragedy that decimated our people and much of Edith's family, and Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut, complex times in our history. There are few people I know with better ability to hold those 3 days with all of their complexity than Edith Klein. And Edith's hope, as was mentioned before, doesn't come from a superficial idea of American optimism. She comes with a deep, honestly, a European Jewish optimism that is rooted in the hope of faith. Now, as Edith mentioned, she comes from a secular Israeli family, born in Israel, disconnected from diaspora Jewish community until she moved here as a young person, and not really focused on religious community until that Orthodox rabbi taught you the depth of who we are as a people. Edith is somebody who transverses boundaries of all kinds and gently reaches behind her and says to each of us, come along with me. You can do it too. I who carry, as Edith has said, the trauma of intergenerational suffering from the tragedy of the Shoah, Edith has taught us that she's also learned about hope and possibilities from the same people in her family who are the survivors of the Shoah. At the same time, Edith said, the day I first learned about the bad men, the evil in the world that is out there to destroy us, those bad men who took my family away and tattooed blue numbers on their arms, Edith said, I pledged to myself that I needed to do whatever I could to change the world so that nothing like that would happen again. I carry my grandparents' trauma within me, but thankfully, I've always felt even more deeply animated by their faith that things can and will get better. You wrote and you create, Edith, with every bone in your body, that like your family in the Shoah, your job in the world is to create reservoirs of hope. Keshet is an example of one of those reservoirs of hope, but it's not the only reservoir you have in you. We need to sustain the sanctity of possibility. Edith recently quoted an intern from Keshet in one of her articles. You've always fostered young people. You've always understood that while it's your job to stand on the shoulders of people who brought you here, to honor them with every act and every moment in your life, you equally look toward the future and understand your job doesn't stop with the past or even the present. Your job continues into creating a different future, as you so beautifully describe, one that we can't necessarily imagine. And that is the leadership of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe in the desert, he didn't have an app that showed what the promised land was going to look like, or a travel brochure that pointed out the beauty of the possibilities that existed. And he had people that all they could do is talk about the sand and how bad the food is, and isn't it better back in Egypt? Moshe's leadership was the ability to show the impossible, the unimaginable, and to insist on going one small step at a time toward that future. So, Edith, I'd love for you to stand as I offer you this blessing on behalf of all of us here. I'd like to invite all of Keshet's current and former staff and board members to join me. Current and past. Did I say that right? Yes, you got it. Current and past to join me. To come up here. Come on up here. Come up here. Surround Edith as we offer her this blessing. Edith, we pray that HaKadosh Baruch Hu surrounds you with the faces of all of the people in this room, all of the people you have touched and inspired. We pray that your family of origin, your many families of choice, your work families, your family at home, the memories of those who did not survive the Shoah. We pray that all of those surround you as you go off into your next chapter of building reservoirs of hope. Know that what you've left us, we're here in Keshet, we will nourish. We will generate new ideas based on your ideas. We will grow and we will flourish based on the work you have done. Your shoulders now will become the shoulders on which all of us now stand. We pray that we are worthy. May God surround you with love, with strength, with hope, with compassion for yourself and those you love. And may God continue to walk with you every day as you help us walk one step at a time, through the desert, through the wilderness, into the promised land. And let us say, Amen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Eliana, I forgot to introduce who's speaking next. And now I'd like to invite Jamie Crass to make sure we match our emotions with our dollars.
Y'all, having me go right after that was a terrible idea. Give me a minute. Hi, I'm Jamie Crass. I use she, her pronouns. And I guess I'm starting off by crying in front of all of you. Wow, I have the best seat in the house now. Gal can get used to this. The Honorable Seth Marnin mentioned this earlier, but I really want to drive this home. In 2001, Keshet's office was a spare room in Edith's third-floor Boston apartment. She was Keshet's only employee, and she was working with a budget of $42,000. Over the next 24 years, Edith grew that local grassroots effort into what it is today, the leading national organization for LGBTQ Jewish equality with 6 offices, 36 staff, and a multi-million-dollar budget. Extraordinary transformation is the hallmark of Edith's leadership. And I've had the immense privilege of witnessing that up close. Earlier this evening, Edith shared what many of our youth told us they were feeling after the election: alone, unsafe, scared for their lives. I want to tell you what those exact same youth shared with us 24 hours later, after they participated in our Shabbaton. 100% reported that they felt a stronger sense of confidence and pride in their identities. 100% felt a stronger sense of belonging in the Jewish community. 100% said they felt safe and affirmed at the Shabbaton. As one trans teen put it, "My whole body relaxes at the Shabbaton, and I don't have to worry about hiding or downplaying certain aspects of my identity. It feels like coming home." You may be wondering, how does this transformation happen? Well, from the moment teens connect with us, their names and pronouns are respected. Their identities are reflected in both leadership and content, and their peers stand proudly at the helm of it all. In short, we give them a glimpse of the world they deserve and show them how possible it is. That is what Edith's leadership has accomplished over and over and over, inspiring others to make what some try to convince us is impossible, possible. That is why, in Edith's honor, we have launched the Edith Klein Fund for the Impossible. This fund will ensure Keshet can navigate the storm of this political climate with crucial stability and continue to meet this moment with courageous initiative. This fund will enable us to move this world closer to one in which stories of belonging, like Willow's and Doran's, are the expectation for every single LGBTQ Jewish youth. We've set an ambitious goal of $2.5 million. And I am so proud to share that our incredible community of supporters have helped us pass $2 million in pledges so far. You are all here today because you are committed to continuing the extraordinary work Edith started. Many of you have already made generous contributions today. Thank you. And I invite you now to dig deeper. For those who will be giving to this fund for the first time, I invite you to dig deep. Help us to reach this goal. Behind your name tag is an envelope. Please take it out and look at it. You're also welcome to pull up one of these on your seat. Now, look back at me. We all know deeply how critical Keshet's work is today. I'm asking you to consider making a gift of at least $1,000. And if you're able, we would be inspired if your household could stretch to $1,800, which is our first sponsorship level. And for those of you who can give at even higher levels, $5,000, $10,000, or even more, please do. Members of the Keshet team will be coming around to collect your envelopes, and you can also scan the QR code. And every amount you choose to give makes a difference. With your support, we will continue Idit's legacy of redefining what is possible together. Thank you. And I'm pleased to invite back up queer culinary genius and my friend, Liz Alpern.
All right, friends, let's just give you a minute to write some stuff down on those envelopes, take a minute. I'm going to pour a drink for us. Wow, so I don't know about you, but I've been on a journey the last 45 minutes. A journey that maybe parallels the journey that Idit's been on, that this organization's been on. We sat down, we were relaxed, we were filled with vegan sushi. We didn't know what was coming, but we stayed focused. We tuned into each other. I've cried, I've laughed, and here we are now. So I'm going to invite you all to raise a metaphorical glass with me, because you cannot drink in this sanctuary, only I can. But as soon as this concludes, you will be met in the lobby with champagne and cupcakes. So get ready, that's what's next, that's coming soon. Couple tiny steps along the way. We're gonna raise this glass, I'm gonna raise this glass. You are all gonna be with me in raising this glass. Maybe raise your hand, just, embody it. And may we say to Idit, L'chaim, L'chaim. One more blessing before we invite up the incredible Betty to seal this night with music and joy. We want to mark this moment of transition. This is a unique moment of transition. And what do we do in our tradition when we're transitioning, when something new is happening? Maybe it's the first time, maybe it's, what do we say? So let's do it. Can we all do it together with enthusiasm? Let's do it. I think some of you know the words. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam shehechayanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. To Idit, thank you so much for your leadership. And with that, I will welcome up Betty.
What about for the drunks? What do the drunks do? I'm kidding. I'm allowed to say that because I'm one.
It's our honor and our privilege to be able to come and to sing and to play some music. Idit, we're huge fans, not only of the work that you've done, but the work that will continue on at Keshet, and for everybody that works there and supports it. And we're just really, really proud and honored to be a little part of it.
And I love being in a room where we're talking about impossible and incomprehensible, because what else can we do in this world at this time but to rise up to that challenge and flow?
This is off our new album. You can shake to it. All right, turn it up, brother.
Flow, 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 flow. Get moving, get grooving, get moving in the flow. Flow, 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 flow. Get moving, get grooving, get moving in the flow. Get into the flow. I saw you in your window, waving, wanting you by my side. Hello, hello, I love you. Will you share my ride? Oh, I don't know your name. Oh, let's get insane. Flow, 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 flow. Get moving, get grooving, get moving in the flow. Flow, 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 flow. Get moving, get grooving, get moving in the flow. Get into the flow. I saw you in your window, waving, wanting you by my side. Hello, hello, I love you. Will you share my ride? Oh, I don't know your name. Oh, let's get insane. Woo! All right, all the Jews in the house, get it together. Here we go. Come out now wherever you are. Come out now wherever you are. Come out now wherever you are. If you're near, if you're far. Come out now wherever you are. Be the party. Get into the flow. Give me beat. Flow, 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 flow. Get moving, get grooving, get moving in the flow. Flow, 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 flow. Get moving, get grooving, get moving in the flow. Flow, 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 flow. Get moving, get grooving, get moving in the flow. Flow, 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 flow. Get moving, get grooving, get moving in the flow. Get into the flow. Get into the flow. Everybody be the party. Everybody be the party. Everybody be the party. Everybody be the party.
Thanks for moving and grooving with us. We really appreciate it. I want you to take a lot of space, okay? Those of you that are just sitting in one seat, now take two. Because we have to create our big spaces. Sometimes when things are a little bit challenging, we have to be reminded of the fact that we have to go to the refrigerator maybe more than once or twice, fill up and then fill up again, and have the people that are watching us fill up and taking more than one or two or three spaces enjoy that and support us from behind or from in front, as a matter of fact. Those chubby chasers are very important to our struggle and to our cause, as are the bigger we get, the more space we hold. This song is true, right? Yeah, and as queer and as Jews, we can do that with gusto and more gusto as we continue on.
And non-Jew allies.
Correct. That's right.
And non-queer allies.
And non-queer allies. Correct, Elizabeth. I was just speaking, in bigger terms, if you want to know. Anyway, this song is called Big Size Love. We support the bigness and the more growing bigness of all of us.
And of Keshet.
Generous. Don't be judgy.
Don't be judgy.
I'm still chubby.
I'm still chubby.
I never lost my baby fat. Soft and squishy.
Soft and squishy.
So delicious.
So delicious.
Close your eyes. Now picture that. How much more me can you love when there's more of me? Don't be a meanie.
Don't be a meanie.
I'm not skinny.
I'm not skinny.
Show it off my thicker bits. Hold on tightly.
Hold on tightly.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride.
Or find yourself somewhere else to sit. How much more me can you love when there's more of me? You know the words. How much more me can you love? Are you tired yet? Working hard, I'll bet. Oh,
Come and get your big size fun. Big size love has just begun.
are you tired yet? Working hard, I'll bet.
Come and get your big size fun. Big size love has just begun.
Come and get your big size love, I'll tell you when you're done. Skip the scale.
Skip the scale.
Diets fail.
Diets fail.
If you want to hold me, arms out wide for the juicy side. Lose the stress.
Lose the stress.
Let out the dress.
Let out the dress.
If you want to hold me, arms out wide for the juicy side. How much more me can you love when there's more of me? How much more me can you love? Are you tired yet? Working hard, I'll bet. Oh.
Come and get your big size fun. Big size love has just begun.
Are you tired yet? Working hard, I'll bet.
Come and get your big size fun. Big size love has just
Are
begun.
you tired yet? Working hard, I'll bet.
Come and get your big size fun. Big size love has just begun.
Come and get your big size love, I'll tell you when you're done.
1x, 2x, 3XL.
Good and plenty.
1x, 2x, 3XL.
Plenty.
Good. 1x, 2x, 3XL.
Bit of honey under my plus size spell.
Come and get big size fun. Big size love has just begun. Come and get big size fun. Big size love has just begun. Come and get big size fun. Big size love has just begun. Come and get big size fun.
Big size love. You feel
Thank
that
you.
love?
Thank you so much. It's our honor and privilege to be here for you, Edith. We really love what you've done with Keshet. We love playing for Keshet. We love the Jews. We love the gay Jews. We are the gay Jews. And it's great to have a space and to feel safe and to feel like you can be who you are and you can be together in what?
But what we really love, along
In
with all of that,
solidarity, actually.
is when we found out last year that the word Keshet meant rainbow, and it just was everything. It's the perfect name for everything that's being done here and is building into the future. And we were asked to do one of our most popular songs. It's a request, and about.
Wanted to do.
Go ahead and tell them.
Oh, it's Amy's thing.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. This is just a little thing that we really shouldn't be talking about. But there's a little thing called the Cannes Film Festival, and one of our songs is in a film that's going to be at Cannes, and Elizabeth is going to go and represent us in Cannes next month. Isn't that thrilling? I know we're not supposed to talk about ourselves, but Amy just talked about big size love. When we talk about queerness, we have to make a place for ourselves in the world and the wonderful things that we do. So thank you very much for your
As a
applause
matter
for
of
that.
fact, Betty, our band has been together for 39 years. We are Jewish and black, gay, queer, and allies together. We have found things that work together over the years. We always talk about it. Sometimes we disagree, but we always make sure that our opinions are voiced and that we respect each other. And that's why we're still together, and that's why we love organizations like Keshet.
We do fight a lot because we're Jews and we're sisters. But we do love each other.
And this is
Are we
a
going to do
request.
our word?
Yeah, it was a request. So this is for our requested person. Please, if you know it, sing along.
This is Vintage Betty. Crank it up, brother. Girls in tight dresses who drag with mustaches. Chicks driving fast ingenues with long lashes. Women who long love lust, women who give. This is the way, it's the way that we live. All right. Talking, laughing, loving, breathing, fighting, fucking, crying, drinking, riding, winning, losing, cheating, kissing, thinking, dreaming. This is the way, is the way that we live. It's the way that we live and love.
Cha-cha-cha. Thank you so much. That was from a TV show called The L Word. This is also about love.
Turn it up, please. If you feel like moving, you can.
My baby, so hungry, needs me all night. My mouth is sticky. I whet that appetite. It's just love, only love. Raining down.
Eh oui, mes amis, c'est l'amour. C'est toujours l'amour, voilà.
My baby, so shameless, wants me always in public places. Cries when I hesitate.
What's it about? We know.
It's just love, only love. Raining down. It's just love, only love. Shining out, raining down. It's just love.
Love who you want to love. Be who you want to be. Marry who you want to marry. Boogie with who you want to boogie, but you gotta do it to a beat. Beat, 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 beat.
My baby likes switching from this to there. If I don't mind it, why do you care? It's just raining down. It's just love, only love. Pouring out, raining down. It's just love. It's just love. It's just love. A look,
Tu regardes,
a lick,
tu lèches,
a scratch,
tu griffes,
a kiss.
tu embrasses.
My baby,
Oh, baby!
my bliss, so kiss. Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. Edith, will you join us, please, for our final song this evening? Will you come up here, please?
Please come up here?
Right now in Edith's mind is, what the hell am I supposed to be doing here?
Is this a
You're
surprise
actually
for
going
her?
to stand over here by Amy, because you're more like her size.
Uh-huh.
Your
Can
friend,
you turn the monitor up, the track on the monitor, please? Thanks.
your friend and patriot Shauna said that we need to do something very special for you tonight. And I think that everybody in this room is going to join in and honor her in this special, special moment. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
One last time.
Edith! Marcelo, Edith! Thank you.
Champagne and cupcakes in the lobby, everyone. Thank you so much.